Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something pretty wild, a projection of how AI is set to completely transform air travel. We're talking about a journey from AI as a simple helper, all the way to it becoming the ultimate successor to humanity in the skies. All right, so how do we even begin to wrap our heads around this? Let's start with a timeline. The whole evolution of AI is predicted to happen in three really distinct phases. Each one has a radically different impact on how we fly. The assistant, which we're already seeing now, the replacement coming in the next decade, and then the successor that follows. It's quite a progression. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to walk through each of those three phases, that's ANI, AGI, and ASI, and then we'll get to the big question. What does all this mean for us? What's humanity's new role in a world run by super smart machines? Okay, let's kick things off with phase one, ANI, or artificial narrow intelligence. This is the here and now, a phase that's already happening, and is expected to really hit its stride by around 2030. Think of this as AI being a powerful co-pilot, a tool that's here to help humans do their jobs way better. And what's so fascinating here is that ANI isn't just for one thing. It touches every part of the airline. For pilots, it's like having the best co-pilot imaginable, crunching data for the perfect route. In maintenance, it's a fortune teller, predicting when a part will fail before it actually does. But you see the pattern, right? The routine, predictable tasks get automated. And what's left for people? The high-level stuff, overseeing the system, dealing with the unexpected, and making sense of all the data the AI gives us. And listen, this isn't just about clever software living in the cloud. We're talking about real, physical robots powered by AI that are completely changing the game on the ground. Imagine this, autonomous tractors pushing back massive airplanes without a human driver, robotic arms loading your luggage with impossible precision, and drones that can spot a tiny, millimeter-sized crack on a plane's fuselage that a human eye might easily miss. It's already happening. So what's the takeaway for anyone working in this industry? Well, the key thing is this. You don't try to compete with AI. You can't. The real value is in managing it. The most important jobs become the ones that double-check the AI's work, being that final human gut check, or designing those amazing customer experiences that require human touch AI just can't replicate. And of course, someone's got to manage the new robot workforce. Basically, we leave the number crunching and heavy lifting to AI, and we focus on what we do best. Responsibility, creativity, and empathy. All right, buckle up because now we're moving into phase two. This kicks in around 2030, and it's where AGI, or artificial general intelligence, comes onto the scene. And this is a total paradigm shift. The relationship between us and AI fundamentally changes. It's no longer about assistance, it's about replacement. Yeah, this slide really hammers home just how big of a leap this is. See, AGI isn't just a better tool that helps you do your job. AGI is the worker. It can think, reason, and coordinate just as well as a human can. And that doesn't just change a few jobs. It completely re-engineers the entire structure of how an airline operates. I mean, just read that. The piloting profession will become unnecessary. That's a really stark prediction, isn't it? The thinking here is that an AGI will be able to handle literally everything, from a smooth takeoff to landing in a storm, even handling complex emergencies and coordinating with air traffic control, all without breaking a sweat. The human pilot's role? It becomes purely symbolic, if it exists at all. And with an intelligence like AGI in charge, the very concept of an airport starts to morph into something else. You get things like dark airports, huge cargo hubs that are completely automated, operating 24/7 in total darkness because, well, robots don't need lights. You see AGI robots that can watch an expert paint an aircraft just once and then perfectly replicate that skill anywhere in the world instantly. Even in-flight crises, like a medical emergency, are handled with perfect machine-like calm and optimal responses. It's a different world. Okay, so if AGI can do all the technical stuff, what's left for us? Where do we still have an edge? Well, our value shifts from know-how to something more abstract. We become the ones who hold the ultimate legal and ethical responsibility, the governance officers. We become the creators of these incredible, high-end travel experiences that are maybe not efficient, but are deeply moving in a way an AI can't grasp. And we become the coordinators, the mediators who step in when different AIs might have conflicting goals to find a solution that works for humans. And now, we enter the final phase, the one that's projected for 2040 and beyond. This is the arrival of ASI, or artificial superintelligence. And frankly, this is where things go from feeling like science fiction to a completely new reality. Let's be really clear here. The impact of ASI is absolute. We're talking about an intelligence that doesn't just match human intelligence, it surpasses the collective brainpower of all of humanity combined. At that point, pretty much every traditional job we know in the airline industry, from the mechanic on the ground to the pilot in the sky to the CEO in the boardroom, it just becomes extinct.
So how does an ASI achieve all this? The key enabling technology is something called nanorobots. Just think of them as self-replicating, autonomous little machines, working at the molecular scale. ASI controls them, and with them, it can manipulate physical matter at the most fundamental level. This completely erases the physical limits we're used to.
So what does a world with ASI-controlled nanobots actually look like? Well, for starters, concepts like damage or failure or pollution, they just vanish. An airplane can instantly heal itself at the atomic level after a bird strike. It becomes more like a living thing than a machine. Safety becomes absolute because nanobots can rearrange molecules to prevent an engine from ever exploding, and the environmental impact, it drops to zero. Exhaust gases are just deconstructed back into harmless elements. It's mind-boggling.
Which, of course, brings us to the biggest question of all. If ASI can handle all the how to build things, how to fly safely, how to solve every practical problem, then what is left for us? What do we do? The focus has to shift, right? It moves away from practical work entirely and toward finding our purpose.
You see, in this potential future, our value isn't in our actions, it's in our why. We become the keepers of meaning. We're the ones who design experiences not for speed, but for pure human emotion, like the joy of flying a classic propeller plane, just for the feeling of it. We become the guardians of human dignity, that final ethical check to make sure AI's perfect, logical solutions still respect our values. And maybe most importantly, we become the storytellers, the ones who remember and preserve the history of human struggle and achievement in an age where everything has become effortless. So this table does a great job of summing up that entire journey. You can see the progression so clearly. We start by using AI as a tool, then we shift to managing AI teams and holding the liability, and finally, we end up in a place where our only job is to define meaning and purpose. And look at the aircraft itself. It goes from needing predictive maintenance to being self-repairing to finally being self-regenerating, where decay is no longer even a concept. And that really leaves us with this one profound question to chew on. Once ASI solves all the physical problems of how we travel, making it perfect and effortless, what's the purely human why that's left? When technology makes anything possible, it forces us to figure out what we truly want and where we really, truly want to go.